want to talk about the core just a little bit first. So what the core is not just the abs. The core is from the pelvic floor all the way down, all the way up to the diaphragm, just at the base of the rib cage here. So all of that will be included. We'll be doing the outside of the hips, we'll be doing the glutes, as well as the stomach area, those abs through there. So that's what we're working on. Core versus abs. So again, abs is just this part in the center. The one thing that's really important and why core is so important is that before any movement, before you make any movement, the core has to tighten up to create this balance right here, hold you over your base of support before you move. So even if you move your arm out here, you've created weight out to the side, the core has to engage to bring you back to the center. If not, you're out of balance. This falls into that whole falls prevention thing I do, that the core is vital. The other thing is a lot of pain can come when your core is not strong. Your lower back, your middle of your back, but especially the lower back becomes a real bad area for you with a lot of pain. When I used to go into the chiropractor once every 2 weeks, had to. Once I started doing more core and got my core strong, I haven't been to the chiropractor since. It was just a matter of getting the muscles tightened up in the front, bringing that spine into the neutral position. All right. Floor versus chair, or standing versus chair. We're going to do, today's class will be, I'll save the rest of this for later. Today's class will be, we'll start seated and then we'll go to standing. Whichever one is right for you is the one you do. The programs I build kind of let you do either way, whether you want to do them seated or you want to do them standing. The other thing with standing is when we stand, use a chair. These aren't balance exercises. We're not trying to create balance. We're trying to get strength through the core that'll help us with balance. So if you're doing exercises and you find yourself waddling back and forth, just trying to stay upright, that's not going to work for you because we're not getting the core then. So really just focus on these muscles, and that's what it's about, finding the right set of muscles. So the first thing we're going to do is find neutral position. So neutral position is ears over shoulders over hips. Whether you're standing or seated, you're going to have this little curve in the lower back. If you don't, so not everybody has that. One thing you can do is for the seated stuff, you can take and put a pillow behind your back or a small ball or something like that to go into that lower back, into that lower lumbar, to give you support back there. What we're trying to do is stabilize that lower back so that all the focus can be up here. Because in time, as that gets stronger, the lower back will do better. So the first thing we're going to do is just a nice, easy pelvic tilt. We're going to do these seated, and then we're going to do all the same exercises standing so you can see the difference. So the first thing we're going to do is roll the pelvis up and forward. So what we're looking at is tightening up these lower abs. When you contract those muscles, it pulls the pelvis up. Shoulder blades are back. Neutral position is ear over the shoulders, not shoulders way back, but right here in alignment. So the first thing you want to do is just roll the shoulders back. Get those tight, those muscles in the lower abs. What we like to do is squeeze the glutes to get that movement, and we really want to focus on these muscles from the belly button down to the core. So just starting out with that, bring the shoulders in alignment, roll the pelvis forward, and then drop the shoulders down so you can feel the difference. You should always be concentrating on this whenever you're sitting at all. Really think about bringing those shoulders back, tightening up the lower abs, and bringing the hips forward. You're going to feel those lower abs working. One more time, down. This is what you don't want. And back up, pelvis forward. That's what you do want. All right, next what we're going to do is hands behind the head, fingers intertwined. So what we want to do here, I talk about this in all my other classes. It's a tennis ball. You always want that chin and chest at that distance apart there where that ball is, like you're holding it in there. If the chin goes down to the chest, you're putting all sorts of stress on the upper back, the neck, and the lower back. So you want to be careful of that. So the first thing we're going to do is hands behind the head, and we're going to do that. Roll the shoulder blades back nice and tight. We're going to do a crunch, which is just coming down, squeezing the muscles, top of the core, belly button to the rib cage, and just bring it down. and exhale all the air out of the lungs. And when you do that, don't push the stomach out. Just feel the muscles in the core contract. So it's not really sucking it in either. It's when you exhale all the air, you're tightening up these core muscles to drive the diaphragm up into the lower part of the lungs. And then just relax. Go back to neutral. Don't let the hands push on the back of the head, getting the chin down. So again, down, roll. And I wish I could show this better, but you're really taking these abs right here, squeezing. You should feel it in the upper half, rib cage to the belly button, down and back up. It's not a big move. So what you don't want to do is this, which a lot of people try to do, is get the elbows down and touch the knees. Range of motion doesn't matter. You need to feel the muscles, and I will specify what muscles you need to feel it in. Hold it for a couple counts, and then come back up again. One more time. Down, squeeze it, and come up again. All right. Next thing we're going to go into is a seated march. So if you can get your butt out on the chair just a little bit, you glute fold right between the leg and the butt is where you want to try to be eventually, but you work your way there. The farther back you are in the chair, the less the core has to work. The chair is holding you steady. Farther out you get, the more the core has to work to keep you in place. So we're going to take from right here, alignment, hips, knees, toes. We're just going to go into a march. Holding the shoulder blades back, chest out, keeping that neutral spine, straight line from the back of the head down to the tailbone. You want that to be straight. Head shouldn't be down. And just bringing these up, working the hip flexors here, front of the hips to lift the leg. Make sure you're coming up off the heel first, then the ball of the foot. Controlling the movement up and down. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Can be nice and small. As long as you're keeping those shoulder blades back, tighten up the core at the same time and lifting those legs. And as long as you're in neutral posture, you know you're working those core muscles. Up and up. So the next thing we're going to do is hands behind the head again, elbows back. So you want to take and keep those elbows back to make sure that you're not, if you go forward, you're going to have this tendency to lean into it. How far back your elbows go is up to you, how much stretch you have in the chest. What I'd like you to do is, as you pick the foot up, rotate the shoulders so the shoulder girdle always stays in alignment. Don't just bring the elbow down. You want to get that rotation in there and back up. And same on the other side. Take it down and bring it up. So we're working the obliques, which work rotation, around, squeeze, and back. So when you turn this way, these muscles are contracting to bring you around, and you squeeze them. Exhale into it. Nothing has to move very far. I can get all sorts of contraction just with these little tiny moves. Down and up. The other thing you're looking for is, as you pick the one knee up, the other knee has to stay down. If you bring it over with you and rotate the hips at the same time, you're going to hurt your lower back. So you want to stay in neutral, always in neutral. The spine is straight, down, shoulders are across. The only place you have rotation in your back is in the middle of the back. So that's what we're trying to get, is that rotation through the middle of the back, using those muscles in the core to pull, and then back up again, other side down, and up. Squeeze it, and up one more time. There, and back, up. Check that out. Enough with the shoulders. Really important key. Spine only does one thing at a time. You want it to be straight so that when you bend forward, but you don't want to bend forward and turn at the same time, because now you're putting all sorts of pressure on those vertebrae as you make that rotation. So what you want to make sure is that that back is straight, up and down, so that when you rotate with the shoulders, you're getting that rotation, a nice easy turn and not putting any pressure on the vertebrae. All right, feet going again. Take the hands, put them on the thighs. So you don't need weights for these exercises. What we're going to do is take the hand, push down as you lift the leg, and go back down. Really important here. What's going to happen? Shoulders are going to want to roll forward. You're constantly, I am constantly correcting myself because as I do these and up, it is in keeping those shoulder blades back as you bring the leg up, keeping the spine in neutral, that you're working these core muscles, adding just a little resistance. And the beauty of a hand over a weight is that you can adjust just by how much pressure you put down. Other advantages, you work the arms and the chest as well as you're doing these. Up, shoulder blades back, chest is out, push and push. 2 more, up and up. Always also think about knees, toes, right straight up to the hips are always in alignment, pointing right straight out. Don't let the feet roll out to the outside. Get strengthened this way too. So the muscles are always going right straight forward. All right, cat-cow from a seated position. Hands on the thighs to start out with. This one we're going to roll the shoulders forward, but not bringing the chin to the chest. So what you're doing is spine stays straight up into the bottom of the head, and it's down. Roll the shoulders forward. Squeeze those core muscles. Get all the air out of the lungs. Feel those muscles tighten up. And then coming back up, rolling the shoulder blades back. Deep breath in. Exhale as you come down. Again, the stomach's coming in, but you're not sucking it in. You're forcing those muscles to tighten up, to blow the air out of the lungs. Hold for a count, and then back up. Core muscles, core exercises. You can cheat the core muscles completely with every exercise if you're just bobbing back and forth. You're not using those muscles. So what you want to do is really make sure you're focusing on just all those muscles in the abs right here. Squeeze, and back up again. So going here, cat, arch back, and bring it up, roll the shoulder blades back, open up the chest, and one more time down, arching that back, not chin to chest, tennis ball, and bring it back up again. All right, next one we're going to do is working the lower abs. So your belly button down to the hips. One leg is straight or bent at the knee, the other leg, take it out. What we're going to do is just pick that leg up and bring it back down again. So this one, if you're having problems bringing that leg up, you're going to lean forward. Grab to the bottom of the chair or roll the shoulder blades back and then lift, making sure that you're forcing that neutral position and you're holding yourself there using some muscles that are strong through the arms, through the chest, through the upper back. And it's just a small lift and back down. The further out the foot is, the farther out the foot is from the hip, the heavier the leg is going to be. So if you're having problems getting that up and you just can't get that heel up off the floor, bend the knee just a little bit more and then bring it up. And back down, up. Lower abs. They're working to bring that hip up or that pelvis up, lifting that leg, hip flexors, front of the leg, which are walking muscles. They pick the leg up. So up and back down one more time. Heel does not have to come off the floor. You're going to feel these muscles working. Once you do, you've accomplished what you're looking for. Even if you can't get the foot off the floor, you're still contracting these muscles and you'll still feel it. So don't worry about how high that foot comes up. We want to take it slow and controlled, shoulders back, hang on to the bottom of the chair. So you got those shoulder blades way back there. On this one, you're kind of exaggerating those shoulders back to make sure that you keep your neutral position, keep yourself upright. The more you do this, the more you can let go of the chair. Now the core muscles are doing all the work. If you can hold those shoulder blades back, be out to the edge of the chair and lift the foot. These are really important that you get out as far as you can in the chair, because if you're back here, you're not really working the muscles to lift that leg. The farther out you are, and that's an adjustment, you can modify by coming out closer to the edge of the chair. All right, so now we're going to take arms overhead, shoulder blades are back, right foot out. I'm going to take the left arm as we bring the right foot up, down and up. This one, grab onto the back of the chair with the opposite arm so that the shoulder blades stay back. Give yourself a little more support, down and up. So this crunch that we're doing as we bring the arm down works the upper abs, bringing the leg up works the lower abs. back up. Take it down and squeeze. We're also working the obliques on this one because we're taking the left hand, right foot, out, and back up one more time. Be really careful on this one. Again, you're not looking to touch the toe. You're looking to bring the leg up so you get the lower abs, bring the arm down and tuck so you're getting the upper abs, and reach across, just turning those shoulders so you get the obliques. Other side, foot out, arm up, hold on to the chair with that opposite arm, and same thing, out and back up. Crunch like you did at the beginning, and back up. So this is if you're on the floor. This would be a crossbody jackknife. We can find ways to do almost every floor exercise by seated or standing. Squeeze and back. And the more I researched this, the more I found a lot of new exercises that I had no idea we could do. And these are great. Down and up one more time. Squeeze, bring the leg up, front of the hip, lower abs. Crunch the shoulders forward, keeping the chin up, rolling the shoulders down, and then back up again. We're going to stand, sit to stand, hands on the thighs. So when you're getting up, remember, hip hinge, shoulder blades back, leaning out over the legs, keeping in that neutral position, and then pushing with the hands through the heels, driving the hips forward. That's a good glute exercise. And every time you sit down and get up, you should do it 3 times. Whether you're sitting down to eat, it's a great way to, if you're, we're going to use the chair as a chair assist. If you're doing some work, or anytime you're sitting down, going to stand up, do it multiple times. Get some work into those glutes as you push up. What you want to be careful of is don't push through the toes. That goes through the front of the knee. You want to bring that shoulder blades back, neutral position, roll the hips forward, and then push up. That's a completely different class. All right, pelvic tilt from standing. The advantage of standing over seated is now you're using these core muscles to hold you up over your base of support, your 2 legs. You want to be in the middle of them or over the stationary leg if you have one leg up in the air. So the first one is just shoulders, pelvis up. So you're taking and rolling the pelvis forward, but not by squeezing the glutes, by tightening up these muscles in the lower abs. So bring it up, shoulder blades back, chest out, and then back out again, getting a little bit of an arch on that back. Chin doesn't go down to the chest though. And then bring it back up so you can feel that pelvis move up. You're putting the back in its neutral position by doing this. The stronger these lower abs are, the better you're going to be for being able to up, keep yourself upright, as we should be, not letting the shoulders droop forward, and back down one more time. Up, squeeze, and back down again. All right, next one we're going to do is legs are going to come up and back down. So just start with that knee toe, hip forward, up, and back down, off the ball of the foot, then the heel, or off the heel, then the ball of the foot, up, and back down. Hand behind the head, holding onto that chair. Don't lean into the chair, just use it to make sure that you're steady. Make the core do the work to hold you upright. Don't let the arms do the work for you here. We're going to bring the knee up at the same time, roll the shoulders down, and back up again. So we did this seated. Now we can do it standing up, squeeze it, and back down. If your balance is fine, you have no problems with this, you're just looking to get a little more work out of the core, don't grab onto the chair. But remember, this is not a balance exercise. Squeeze those abs, feel it in the upper abs, lower abs, and bring it back up. Again, exhale, tighten up those core muscles, getting all the air out of the lungs, and back up. Let's do the other side, same thing. Head up. Remember, you don't push down in the back of your head, you're just putting the hands back there to keep that elbow back as far as you can get it. Again, however far it goes back is right for you. We're going to come down, bringing the knee up, squeezing the lower abs, rolling that pelvic tilt into it, and then shoulders down and back up again. So we're working the upper and lower abs. And back up, straight up and down. Squeeze it and back up. Before we start to rotate, we have to have this down where you're coming down, squeezing the core, and coming back up again one more time. And back down. I'm going back to the other side. We're going to bring up just the leg, high knee, bring it up, squeeze. And again, up, works the lower abs, tuck it as much as you can. So you want to bring that knee up as high as possible, wherever that is for you. Wherever that height is for you that you can get it up to. These muscles are doing the work. You're going to feel it in the front of the hip. Range of motion is nothing. It's all about, can you feel it where you're supposed to? Up, squeeze, and back down, up, tighten it up, and back. Go slow, control the movement. Toe should be forward with the knee. As you bring it up, squeeze those muscles in the lower abs in the front of the hip. And up. Hold. Always hold at the end of the motion for at least 1 second, hopefully like 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. You'll really feel those muscles engage. When you do, that feeling is the muscle breaking down so you can build up stronger, better, get some density to those muscle fibers. One more time, up and back down. So remember, these are small moves. We don't have to do big moves. We don't have to big curls and touch opposite foot to hand. Just, it's about feeling the muscles working. Other side up, tuck that knee in there, high as you can get it, and back down. And that's another thing you can do is kind of get it up there with the hand and then release it and let go, or back here. This in itself doesn't help you at all. It's getting it up as high as you can and then letting it go. Up, squeeze, air out of the lungs. That's such a key part every time, because that's what's going to engage those muscles. And down those abs right through the center here. And back down one more time. Up. And back down. Hand on the knee. I'm going back to the other side. So you can do this however you want. If you want to go behind the chair and do these, that's fine. I don't have a clear chair, so you couldn't see me if I was doing it behind it. But you can do it wherever's comfortable for you. Stationary leg, little bend in the knee. Hand on the thigh, push it, and release. Again, up, tight, and then let it go. Again, bring it up, squeeze. You want to hold it there for a couple seconds. The longer you hold it there, the more you're going to feel those muscles engage. Stationary leg, remember, knee is always bent. You never lock the knee out all the way back. You always have just a little bit of a bend in it, so you're not stressing out that joint. Exhale, and back down one more time. And down. I'm going back to the other side. So you should be feeling this right now heavily from top of the thigh coming up to about the belly button. Other side, let's go. Shoulders are back. Don't forget that neutral position. So you do this little crunch, bringing the shoulders forward. What you're doing is you're bringing that rib cage out and back down. So you're not rolling the back down. You're keeping that spine straight going up into the skull so you're not stressing the neck. And back down a couple more. And you can do these anytime. And that's what I always hope is that I give you the tools that you can go and do this every day. Core exercises every day. All right, cat-cow. You don't need the chair for this one. We're going to come down, roll the shoulders toward the floor, keep the chin away from the chest. You're looking right straight down at the floor. What you don't want is the head going below the heart. You do that, you're going to end up down there on the floor. So, head up. Don't let the blood rush to the brain. Shoulders forward, roll them so that you feel this arch going from the middle of the back to the outside. And then coming back up, roll the shoulder blades back. Hyperextend. So you want to take the shoulder blades and roll them way back on this one as you come up to upright position and then back down again. Exhaling as you come down. and back up. Shoulder blades back, chest out. Knees are bent. Don't forget that. Feet are forward. Exhale. And bring it back up. Shoulder blades are back. You can do cat-cow for stretching as well. And with that, when you come down, you don't do that hard exhale and tighten up those core muscles. You just relax, stretch out the upper back, roll the shoulder blades back, stretch out the front. So there are different ways of doing the cat-cow. Next one is just going to be that leg lift, forward leg lift. Last one we're going to do. Up and back down. Little bend in the knee. Really important here. Toe, knee, and hip are in alignment. Don't let the toe roll out to the side. That stationary leg, you're not leaning into the chair. You've stationed your body right over that leg. Your base of support is that single leg. You should be right over the top of it in neutral position. Up. Shoulder blades stay back. This one's another one. As that foot goes out there, it's easy to bring the shoulders down. Stay in neutral. Use the chair for that. Keep those shoulder blades back. You want to feel it right here in front of the leg, front of the hip, down and up and back down. Again, how high the foot comes up doesn't matter. What matters is that you can feel these muscles working. Other side, same thing. Little bend in the knee, both knees, foot comes up, shoulder blades are back, chest is out. Shoulder blades come back and down. So you use those muscles in the upper back to pull those shoulder blades down. You get so much more work out of these when you have those back and down. Up, neutral position, tighten up that core, bring that hip forward, up. So you're doing that pelvic tilt here. That helps bring that foot up, and back down. Last one, up, and back down. So this one, we don't have time, but we want to take the arm. If you're standing, do this after we're done. Arm down, foot up, and back. Again, it's nothing about touching anything. It is bringing that arm down, rolling the shoulders forward, feeling the upper abs engage, bringing that foot up, feeling the lower abs engage, and the obliques rotate you. Let's go ahead and sit down, please. So this is first class. First time I've done a upright core. I do them, but not as a class separate. Let me know. Comments. Talk to me after the class. What you like, what you don't like, what I can change. Give me some feedback on this. I appreciate it. If you're sore in the core, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, 2 days. But second day is usually the worst. Make sure that you're using, or that if you feel those muscles really, really tighten up, just relax it a little bit. It's no big deal. It should go away within 48 hours. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, and I will see you next week.